Front line of the explosion, and from 4 months ago, nobody's helped us.
On August 4, a powerful explosion believed to be caused by ammonium nitrate that caught fire ripped through Beirut port. Its impact was felt kilometers away. 200 people were killed, thousands were wounded, and tens of thousands made homeless. Pierre Gemayel's extended family used to live in this 8-story building.
We are still displaced. How can we come back and stay? I didn't believe.
Thousands of Lebanese have been struggling to rebuild their homes. The cash-strapped government has largely been absent, and NGOs can only do so much. Pierre's family didn't just lose their homes. They lost a brother, Jacob.
What's happening?
Grief is now compounded with anger towards a political class that's acknowledged knowing about potentially explosive material unsafely stored for years.
They destroy not only the city, not only my houses and my brother's houses and our building. We lost everything. We lost any hope.
Survivors, victims' families, and human rights groups believe high-ranking officials, including the president, should be held to account. So far, the investigation has focused on port and customs employees.
Like other explosions and assassinations, were not locally tried. And therefore, we called for an international investigation.
There is little faith in Lebanon's judiciary, long accused of being politicized. There's also little faith in a political class accused of decades of corruption and negligence. Now some accuse officials of wanting to bury the past by demolishing structures at the port that have come to symbolize what happened to Beirut and its people. The state says the grain silos risk collapse, an assessment dismissed by some experts who say the structures should be kept as a memorial.
There is a similar situation that happened in Hiroshima. When the Hiroshima bomb exploded, Japan organized a sort of memory park to recall the memory of the tragedy. In Lebanon, we're used to erase always the memory of tragedies.
The grain silos are credited for absorbing the brunt of the explosion and limiting the damage to the western half of the city. They're also evidence of a crime many fear may go unpunished in a country with a legacy of impunity.
Zina Hoda is in Beirut for us, and as international donors meet, the need for people in Lebanon could not be greater, could it?
More than half the population now poor. The Beirut blast, it happened last August, but before that the economy was already collapsing. 40% of the population unemployed. Businesses are closing. This was once a vibrant commercial district. As you can see behind me, it is so quiet. Many of the shops here have now closed. So people really are struggling. Now, this aid conference is about emergency assistance. This is what the French president made clear time and time again. This is for recovery efforts to help the people who are affected by the Beirut blast. In no way is this aid conference about bailing out the authorities, a political class that has lost legitimacy and credibility in the eyes of many Lebanese as well as the international community. The French president saying that there will be no international bailout from the IMF or international donors unless the political class enact reforms, reforms like fighting corruption in state institutions. And if they don't do that, then Lebanon will not be able to unlock billions of dollars in aid in order to kickstart the economy. And that is what is needed to kickstart the economy, to create jobs. People have started to leave the country. Many are warning this country is becoming a failed state. But the political paralysis, this political crisis is deep. Rival political factions are not agreeing on a new government. They're not agreeing to loosen their grip or their hold on power. The World Bank issued a very damning report saying that the country is sinking into a deliberate depression, and he pointing the fingers at the authorities, saying it's because of their inaction the economy is collapsing and the state is close to bankruptcy. So this aid conference is about emergency assistance. Many people here feel here that the assistance assistance is not going to reach them. They fear that the NGOs will have to work through the government, and the government, they accuse the government of being corrupt. So it's a very difficult, long road ahead for the people of this country, dealing with multiple crises.